Tonight's aerial coverage in Toronto is brought to you by Goodyear. Smoky conditions have abated just a bit at Rogers Center, but the roof is closed for this one. The Blue Jays and the White Sox. The Jays hoping to make a second half push. Among them is George Springer, who's standing by on the field with Tricia Whitaker.
All right, George, we know the first half for you guys may not have looked like you wanted it to, but you're only 2.5 games back of that wild card spot. What's your confidence level in this group?
Oh, high. I mean, everything is right in front of us. Just, got to go out and play the game as hard as we can, and we'll see what happens.
Spencer Miles is on the mound tonight. What a heck of a story. A Rule 5 draft pick, and now he is a crucial piece to this team. What have you seen from him? What's impressive?
I mean, he's been unbelievable all year. I mean, going from the pen to starting, just the way he navigates the strike zone. He knows his stuff. He believes in himself, and I love watching him pitch.
George, we always appreciate the time. Good luck tonight.
Absolutely.
Guys, back to you.
Springer playing in the field for the first time all season, Tricia, as the Blue Jays will be taking the field moments from now. Starting lineups presented by BetMGM. The White Sox featuring Colson Montgomery, 23 homers in 2026. That leads all Major League shortstops. A White Sox team that ranks 4th in all of baseball in homers, 3rd in the American League, a plus 28 homer differential. That is second best in baseball behind only the New York Yankees. We talked about the trio of 20 home run hitters that they have coming into the break. They've surprised everybody, but Haas, you've been there before. When you're on a team that has defied expectations, how hard is it, now that they've had some time to think about it, to come out here in the second half and continue that?
Yeah, you really hope this young group, this offense for the White Sox just went into that All-Star break, just head down, not even understanding what they accomplished. But they come into the second half now ready to finish strong. But again, we mentioned how they're going to have to be able to cover lineups. So when I look at the depth, Spencer Miles right now is really tough on the right-handed side. So this is going to be a good matchup for Murakami and the left-handed hitters for the Chicago White Sox.
And they'll face Spencer Miles. What a story he's been. 4th start, 27th appearance. Let's get your keys to the game for Miles.
Oh, what a story. You're not lying, Alex. Incredible journey to professional baseball for Spencer Miles, and he's going to have to continue that because it's going to be big today in his usage with the slider. He's been toying with it ever since spring training. It's a new weapon for him. It's a new pitch. We mentioned again, that fastball, it's got life against the righties, and the breaking ball is what he's going to need to accomplish tonight for the lefties. And if he's not able to give the Blue Jays length, they got Patrick Corbin waiting in the bullpen who can fill in for them against all this left-handed lineup the Chicago White Sox are featuring.
Let's take a look at his arsenal. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud.
Again, the fastball, it's got natural sink and life, and it takes off towards that third base side. So the right-handed hitters are really going to have to try and push him off you, see that ball away. The left-handed hitters, it's the exact opposite. They want that ball to start right on that white line, and they trust that that ball is going to leak back over the plate, and they can get barrel on it.
As gigantic a long shot as you can get to make the opening day roster, a Rule 5 pickup, but that doesn't explain the half of it for a guy who only had 14 innings worth of professional experience before this season. Injuries have played a part, but his winding journey to get to the opening day roster has led him to start this game beginning the second half for the Blue Jays, who will need some quality innings out of Spencer Miles against a slugging Chicago White Sox team. 45 losses, 50 wins. Already Chicago only 10 away from matching their total in victories from all of last year. Spencer Miles is ready, as is Sam Adenauchi. Miles stares in, comes home, and he misses with the fastball upstairs. We're underway. Adenauchi leading things off for the White Sox, one of 4 rookies in their starting lineup. We talked in the open about how young and energetic this team is, but they've also produced, and that's, I think, what's been just as remarkable for this team, even if they're still learning on the fly.
Yeah, and as the golfers say, there's still a lot of meat on the bone. Kind of talking to Will Venable, he still believes this young offense can grow. The situational game is something they can clean up, and when that happens, they're going to take off even more.
Adenauchi, ground ball up the middle. Luis Arias to his right, getting the start at second base and making the play. Ernie Clement, who of course got voted into the All-Star game moves to short with Andres Jimenez on the bench. They're facing a left-handed pitcher, so things a little bit shaken up. But George Springer, mentioned it earlier, getting a start in left field, his first appearance in the field since last September, as they try to get more at bats for the two catchers they're carrying right now. Here is Murakami. Big cut on the fastball, and it's 0-1.
Seen a little more velocity, some 96 there from Murakami. Started the game 94 miles, that is, but Murakami's going to make you dig into that extra tank.
20 homers on the season for Murakami. Participated in the home run derby on Monday. He had done it once before in Japan, but he admitted that the stage, he was nervous going into that home run derby, but enjoyed every single minute of the experience.
Yeah, the Philly crowd was great. Hard not to enjoy that experience. It is an adjustment. I don't care if you're 10 years into the big leagues. That is a whole nother adjustment you got to settle into.
Came off the IL just prior to the All-Star game. Missed 35 games. But this White Sox team, I think, remarkably stayed afloat when he was out.
They certainly did, and that's what makes the marks of a good team. If your superstar's down, you got to be able to pick up, carry the load. This offense certainly did that.
2-2. Fastball misses up and in. Count runs full.
We're already getting a good look at this fastball Miles is featuring. It's taking off, running over the plate. The four seam really has life at the top of the zone. It's going to be an adjustment for these White Sox hitters, identifying the difference in fastball.
Staying high to Murakami, and a fly ball will drift towards the seats and land out of play. Let's take you back to Monday. I mean, Murakami is known for hitting some absolute bombs, and we got to see that on Monday night.
We certainly did. We got to see it in Philly. We got to see it here as well, Alex. His round of BP, I mean, it is real power. He hits it to the pot, to the spots in ballparks where many hitters do not hit it. They don't have that type of power.
Payoff pitch, lays off, but Alejandro Kirk wants the challenge.
Just call the ball a catcher's challenge.
ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. And we'll see if Kirk can flip this to a strikeout. He does.
Call's overturned to a strike. Toronto has 2 challenges remaining.
Quality breaking ball there from Miles. Again, we mentioned if he's going to have success off these lefties, he has to land that breaking ball, that slider that is, and he's done it 2 different ways. But right here to Murakami, you see a backdoor. Starts out a ball, and it just catches the end. Lower half of the strike zone and the outer half as well. Good challenge.
Back-to-back curveballs on 3-2. And now Miguel Vargas, another one of the 20 homer hitters for the White Sox. And what a year for him. Top 10 in the American League in OPS, homers, extra base hits, runs batted in. As he fouls this one straight back. Homered in the All-Star game off former Dodger teammate Justin Robleski in the 8th inning. That provided the exclamation point for the American League. He's only the 3rd White Sox player to hit a home run in an All-Star game. He joins Frank Thomas and Maglio Ordonez. And Vargas is fanned with a high heat. Back-to-back Ks from Miles as the Blue Jays come to bat. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a lot of spotlight on him this season and what he hasn't done. Lineups presented by BetMGM. Guerrero from 2024 to 2025 hit .345 after the All-Star break. That's the best mark in baseball over that span in the second half. Been dealing with a nagging back issue, which is why he elected not to go to Philadelphia. As Anthony Kay, the southpaw, toes the rubber for the White Sox. And a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to Ernie Clement. As you take a look at his season numbers, 18th start, 20th appearance for Kay, looking for his first win since June 12th. And a ball and a strike to Ernie Clement. carried a 7-game hitting streak into the break. Leading the American League in doubles. And ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike.
It's going to be a tough assignment for Anthony Kay today. Some quality right-handed hitters for the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's going to figure out how to navigate through this lineup, lefties and righties as well.
Blue Jays starting a 7-game homestand tonight, trying to close the gap in the wild card chase. Ernie Clement, who has become such a fan favorite here in Toronto, they really did stuff the ballot box as he fouls this straight back, and with good reason. And what he's meant as a glue guy for this team.
Provided so much value, can play anywhere in the field, and you gotta imagine, as manager John Schneider, Clement throughout the postseason last year, what that's done for the pace of his game. It's slowed everything down, and he is comfortable and he is established now in the major leagues.
Clement down on strikes to begin the night. 1 gone here in the first as Guerrero comes up. Let's get your keys here for Anthony Kay.
Yeah, that's a great example of what we're dealing with here. It's a real fastball that takes off up and away to the righties and up and into lefties, but he's going to have to navigate with the right-handers because the changeup is his out pitch, the fastball against the lefties, and he's going to have to figure out why he hasn't had success on the road. Again, tough assignment here in the Rogers Center, but no reason, no time to let up.
They are pretty wild. The home and road splits. Look out, third base, as Guerrero is just ahead of one. Carlos Fabler is having to jump out of the way. Just 6 homers on the season for Guerrero, still without one at home. Game 6 of the ALCS. Last time he went deep here at Rogers Center. Now, John Schneider did tell us, Haas, that he's seen signs of life from Guerrero in the last couple of days leading into the break. He has reached base in 7 straight, a couple of homers leading in.
As Albert Pujols says, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a hitter first, and then the power comes. So Schneider, all he's worried about with Vladdy Jr. is his ability to get in those legs, because when he's in those legs, that's going to keep his barrel in the zone to be able to catch breaking balls out front and take them out to left field here at the Rogers Center.
Just like he did in the ALCS last year. Hard ground ball up the middle. Chase Maedroff gobbles it up for the second out. You have to figure that when Vladdy gets going, the rest of this Blue Jays offense will follow. We talked about Kazuma Okamoto in our open and how much he's meant to the Blue Jays. He's hit safely in 9 of 10 games in July as he digs in here. We talked about it in the pregame, his protection. That was the theory for Guerrero after they lost Bo Bichette in free agency.
Yeah, especially when you look at matchups coming into today with Kay being a left-handed pitcher. If there's certain situations when Vladdy Jr. comes up with high leverage runners in scoring position, Okamoto is going to give the other team not the ability to pitch around. They got to go right at Vladdy, or at least you got to pick your poison.
This will reach the seats. Okamoto signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Blue Jays this winter. 6 consecutive 30-homer seasons in Japan. He's well on his way to 30 here. Leading all American League rookies in homers, extra base hits, and RBIs.
He's certainly getting a taste why Major League Baseball is different. A lot of the starting pitchers feature 3 different type of fastballs. Anthony Kay tonight as well.
Oh, look out. And Okamoto gets plunked. Anthony Kay, that's the 17th hit batter, most of any pitcher in baseball this year.
This looks like a cut fastball that just took off. Again, 3 different type of fastballs. This is a cutter. Looks like he's trying to go to the back foot of Okamoto. Just stays up, takes off right off the back thigh.
Is that the one place that you'd be okay getting hit?
I'm okay with that. I can take it off the thigh.
I'll bring up Springer. Played all 3 outfield positions for the Blue Jays last year and appears in the field for the first time this season. It is startling seeing that number next to Springer's name, just 218.
Yeah, you know, it's a matter of if Springer's healthy or not. So good to see him in left field. Big smile on his face. You know he wants to be out there on both sides of the baseball.
And you'd have to think that Springer hasn't been 100% this year after that broken toe, missing 15 games, but hasn't gotten back to form the way that Springer would have hoped after that injury stint.
Yeah, to me, it all leads to one story. If you're not healthy and if you're trying to simplify your moves, your mechanics, but if you're doing it in a way to avoid certain type of injuries or certain type of soreness, it just proves you can't operate at full speed at this level. So Springer hopefully got 3 days off his feet, feeling good, and he'll be a big asset for Toronto if he's healthy in the second half.
You know, it's Murphy's Law when you foul a ball off your toe, right? You break that toe. Okay, so he missed time, wait for that to heal. And then in his 4th game back from the IL, fouled it off the same exact spot.
Yeah, we get 3 days off your feet, and then at bat number 1, let's go right back to that toe.
Right.
That's baseball.
Springer with a drive, center field. Peters going back in front of the track. He'll make the catch. And the inning is over. Springer gave it a ride, but the side is retired.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball. Well, it's no secret that it has been a down first half for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and that is not something that we are accustomed to seeing from the superstar. But despite that, Blue Jays faithful came through for their franchise staple, and they voted him into the All-Star game, but he opted out to rest this week after dealing with that lingering back issue. John Schneider told us Vlad walked into his office and he said, "I'm going to respectfully decline the All-Star invitation," because he said, quote, "I know this team needs me and I need to be good in the second half." Guys, I asked Vlad what he did during the break. He just looked at me with one word and he said, "Rested." I rested. He said, "I went home and I spent time with my family." Schneider said, as you mentioned, Alex, that he's been better mechanically recently, so that's certainly a good sign. And Schneider also said that he feels like it shows his maturity to sit out of the All-Star game. And I said to him, "You guys go as Vlad goes, don't you?" He said, "Yes, we absolutely do." Guys?
Yeah, I think there's an obvious nature to what he brings. As this soft line drive will drop in for a base hit for Colson Montgomery. And the leadoff man is aboard for the White Sox.
Breaking ball here to Montgomery, does a good job staying inside the baseball, and that shows you if you stay inside that baseball, that gives you an opportunity, and that's a product of a good swing there. You know, Alex, Tricia brings up a great point in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. When you think of him sitting out the All-Star game, it's not that he's unappreciative of the honor of starting the game, but it just tells you the maturity again and where his mindset is, where his head is. He became 1 game away from winning a World Series, and trust me, I know what that feels like. I know how hard that is to wear that in a full offseason. So Vladdy Jr., his mind is set on bringing a championship here to the 6, here to Toronto, and that is some serious maturity in my opinion. He knows 3 days off his feet, he's going to get back under his legs, and his mechanics will be where he needs to be, and we'll see all the numbers follow.
Well, he admitted that he may have been a bit fatigued after, you know, a deep run Game 7 of the World Series and then the WBC this spring.
And how can you not?
Hard ground ball, get past Guerrero, and Benintendi has a base hit. Montgomery going first to third, and the ball is cut off in the infield. Andrew Benintendi, the veteran, punches one into right, and the White Sox have men at the corners and nobody out.
Yeah, we're starting to see Benintendi come alive here. Left-handed hitter, take advantage of that 3-4 hole. With Vladimir Guerrero Jr. holding the base runner on, you got a wide open hole there. And we're seeing Montgomery understanding that ball's behind me. Right fielder going to the line, momentum away from third. That's first to third all day.
I'll bring up Kyle Teal.
Situational game to take advantage of early. Toronto Blue Jays struggle to throw base runners out.
And this looper will get down into left field. Montgomery will score. Benintendi to third. Teal to second with an RBI double, and the White Sox had the lead.
Another product of a good swing. Again, it's not all exit velocity. You stay inside the baseball, you will give yourself a chance to succeed. Kyle Teal, breaking ball there, stays inside, was able to catch barrel and barely just get it over the third baseman that is, and understanding the ball fading to the line. That's 2 out of the box. Good aggressive base running.
And George Springer has mentioned playing his first game in the outfield this season. Maybe didn't get a great jump on that ball. Here's a ground ball from Braden Montgomery that will bounce foul.
You were talking about it before the game today, Alex. This turf, it's certainly an adjustment. That ball off of Teal's bat kind of fading to the left field line there. So you understand not only with the spin of the ball, but with this turf, that ball is going to bounce and go straight to the wall and die down there. So that's 2 out of the box. Really nothing Springer can do.
Still nobody out. Second and third for the Sox. Ground ball up the middle. Clement goes to third, and they'll have Benintendi in a rundown. Or rather, they'll have Teal in a rundown as Benintendi scores. So for the White Sox, that's a productive out, no matter what. And it's 2-0 Chicago.
Check out Ernie Clement. This is heads-up baseball. He notices Teal stops and stutters as he's going to third base, so no need to go to first there. Let me help out my pitcher, Miles, get this out. Good heads-up baseball there from Ernie Clement. Not only can he play multiple positions, but when he's at those positions, knows what to do with the baseball, knows where to be. Good stuff.
Credited as a fielder's choice. There goes the runner, and the throw down is not in time. Braden Montgomery has his first career big league stolen base.
You figure coming into tonight, Chicago White Sox were going to be aggressive on the bases. Spencer Miles is a sinker baller. You know the ball, if it's in play, it's going to be on the ground. And Toronto, again, has struggled to throw out base runners all season long. So no reason for the Chicago White Sox to not be aggressive on the bases.
This White Sox team creating havoc. Montgomery running in front of that ground ball will get to third as Tristan Peters grounds out. Let's see how close this play was at second.
Extremely close.
Yeah. Strings on the glove, but gotta have the leather.
Good on Ernie Clement. Whenever you're a infielder receiving a throw for a stolen base like that, you want that ball to get deep. As soon as that baseball gets deep, you just drop the glove right on the tag there.
But you're getting a taste too of how aggressive this White Sox team is running the bases.
Certainly are.
Montgomery without hesitation getting the third.
Tristan Peters almost beating that out hard out of the box.
Strike.
Some of that young energy we were talking about heading into today.
Chase Mydroth here.
There it is. Toronto Blue Jays, they've allowed 89 stolen bases. That's the most in the American League.
Strike.
Remember, Alejandro Kirk was injured earlier this year. Broken left thumb. So they've used a couple of different catchers. Fouled off by Mydroth to stay alive.
And it's hard not to be impressed with the Chicago White Sox, what they've done, not only front office wise, Chris Getz, but Will Venable and his coaching staff. This young group heading into today, we mentioned all but 2 guys with less than multiple years of service time. For them to identify the stolen base situation in Toronto and take advantage, that's great stuff. Great coaching.
Montgomery, another rookie, one of 4 rookies in the starting lineup for Will Venable's club. Take a look at that coaching staff, which did change this offseason. New first base coach, new pitching coach, new hitting coach, new field coordinator. Bouncing ball up the middle, base hit. And the White Sox extend the lead. An RBI single for Mydroff. And it's 3-0 Chicago.
You see Mydroff pointing to the dugout there. He might have been pointing to the Wizard, who we'll catch up with later. But this is a great job with 2 strikes. Miles again, that fastball, it takes off towards the right-handed hitter. So he identifies that ball starts out on the outer half. It's going to leak back middle. Big 2-strike, 2-out, base hit. The young Chicago White Sox, big knock after big knock, putting pressure.
Well, beyond Mike Vassell, who, as you mentioned, we'll chat with, who wields that wand. There are a couple of...
That's the Wizard to you.
Yes.
Be careful.
Yes. There are a couple of characters, though. They've drawn the ire of a couple of opposing teams at times. With the energy coming out of that dugout. Tarek Skubal was not thrilled in a game in late June with some of the jawing coming from the White Sox dugout. It almost has a college feel to it.
It does, and look at the results because of it. The last 16 games, they're rolling. And again, it's all controlled. First and foremost, it tells me this young group is not scared. There's no fear whatsoever. And again, it's controlled because when that 5th, 6th, 7th inning comes and the Chicago White Sox are down by 1, down by 2, you know they expect the Wizard to be up on his feet, and they just now have that sense that they are coming back and they're in this game. And sure enough, we've seen time after time so far, especially in the first half, Chicago White Sox have had some thrilling comeback victories. You can never count this young group out.
That certainly helped elevate the confidence of this team. Spencer Miles, meanwhile, looks a bit rattled. Couple way outside the strike zone to Sam Adenauchi. And he'll step off with the pitch clock expiring. The White Sox, who just got killed in 1-run games last year. But this season they feel they've gotten more polish as the year has gone on, as this is drilled right field. Could be trouble. That ball is gone. Sam Adenauchi makes it a 5-0 lead for Chicago. A towering homer to right.
102 off the bat. Sam Adenauchi turning and burning. Spencer Miles tried to come in on the heater. Sam Adenauchi said, no, I got that. Catch and barrel. Was able to keep that ball inside the foul pole there in right field. And wow, what a swing. This young White Sox team seems like they're picking up right where they left off.
We just showed you all the offense in the last 3 weeks that they have conjured up. Adenauchi with his 7th home run.
They've been putting pressure on Spencer Miles. You see that first hit of this inning. It was first to third, first to third, first to third. Base running threats.
And now another homer threat. Murakami grounds this right side. Guerrero to cut it off. And he flips to the covering Miles, who concedes 5. And the White Sox are in command early. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is presented by Goodyear. And in part by PNC Bank, who believes that fundamentals make highlights possible in baseball and in finance. Alex Faust, Eric Hosmer, Trisha Whitaker here with you in Toronto. Hazy day outside Rogers Center with the roof closed. Luckily, the conditions here have gotten a little bit better. Not the case in Cleveland today, where that game was postponed due to the unhealthy conditions from all the wildfire smoke from up in northern Ontario. Now, what that means is that this White Sox team can get back into first place outright in the American League Central with a win here tonight. Blue Jays getting punched in the mouth. 5 runs on 5 hits for the White Sox as Alejandro Kirk holds his swing, leading things off for the Jays in the 2nd.
Big sweeper there from Kay. Let's see if Kirk was able to hold up. Looks like he did. K's got a 5-run lead. Last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff guy, so got to be aggressive in that zone here.
Ball.
Flip side of that, Kirk has to realize we're down 5, 3-1 count. Need some base runners here if you're Toronto. One pitch, one spot.
And Kirk will take his base. Leadoff walk for Alejandro Kirk. Let's take a look at the White Sox odds to win the American League Central, courtesy Fangraphs. As high as nearly a 3-to-1 chance back on June 29th. And even now, to tell this team that you'd have almost a 4-to-1 odds to win the division after the All-Star break.
Yeah, and to tell a team in April you have almost less than a 1% chance to make it to the postseason. Right. That'll put a chip on your shoulder.
Dalton Varsho brushed back.
Yeah, get out of the way. That's exactly where I need that sweeper to start, right at my face. The only problem is it just did not sweep. So we got to get out of the way there, Dalton Varsho.
Varsho with a fly ball to center. Peters took a step back. Will come in to make the catch. Now this White Sox team, even in April, first place in the division looked like a pipe dream in the early going. Season opening trip through Milwaukee and Miami. White Sox went 1-5. They were outscored 52-21. Then they swept these Toronto Blue Jays at home. After that, White Sox lost 8 of their next 10. Their record was 6-13 in mid-April, but since then, 44-32. The only team better in the AL over that span, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Sometimes when you look back, big emotional series, big rivalry series. When you look when the Chicago White Sox played against the Chicago Cubs, still one more game to make up from that series, but 2 big wins coming out of there. You got to think just builds tremendous confidence for this young team.
Right.
Big atmosphere, big games. You come out of that with a series win. Get your young team believing that not only what we're doing on the field, this can last. This is sustainable. This is real.
White Sox took 2 out of 3, or took 1 out of 3, I should say. No, 2 out of 3. I had that right. Walked it off in that dramatic game in 10 innings. That was the second one. 0-2 here, and it's fouled off by Valenzuela. Brandon Valenzuela, rookie catcher, DHing tonight.
Yeah, quality breaking ball here, trying to go to the back foot. As we see another angle there, just able to get a piece, Valenzuela. K's got him set up here for a ground ball double play as well. See if he opts to do that.
Oh.
It's good pitching. Out in front, just barely able to foul off the breaking ball, then end up some 96 hard in on the hands. See if we can get your infield a ground ball, roll up 2.
All this in.
Came in twice with the fastball. Told you the dramatic home and road splits for Anthony Kay. An ERA approaching 6 on the road this year.
And again, Anthony Kay, 5-run lead. You got to attack the zone here. You want to help out your bullpen as much as you can. Obviously, you want to win the game first and foremost. But when your offense gives you a 5-run cushion, you want to take full advantage.
And he gets Valenzuela to chase. Big strikeout for Kay, a former Blue Jay. 2 gone.
Quality changeup. This is Kay's best off-speed pitch against the right-handed hitter. Had him set up perfectly for it. A couple balls hard in on the hands. Valenzuela fouls off. As a hitter, you're telling yourself, I got to get it going on beat. All of a sudden, Kay pulls the string on a perfectly executed changeup for the strikeout.
Rodriguez now A lot of these White Sox pitchers have home and road splits that look a bit like this. Maybe not as dramatic.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder why. You try and identify, is it routine? What is it?
Making his 8th start this season. 13th appearance overall. Journeyman infielder. Acquired from the Diamondbacks in June. And this soft looping line drive will hang up for Antonacci to make a slide and catch. Inning over. And the leadoff walk to Kirk does not become a problem. 5-0 White Sox through 2. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is presented by Goodyear, along with the former All-Star Eric Hosmer, Tricia Whitaker down to the field. Alex Faust here with you in TO. Spencer Miles, who's been used in a variety of different situations this year, trying to stretch him out as a starter, but it has not worked out. That ERA, which includes the first 2 innings tonight, approaching 10 as a starter. Able to get a quick out here, though, to begin the 3rd. During the commercial break, Tricia caught up with John Schneider. Our manager interview is presented by Sage.
John, Spencer Miles has been so reliable for you all season, but what did you see from him there in that 5-run inning?
I mean, he's in the zone. I think everyone knows that. And, you know, a couple hits, keeping the line going, two out knock from Chase, and then just kind of a front door sinker, I think, there for the home run. He'll settle down. You know, we got a long way to go tonight, and I think he'll be all right.
Let's spin into something positive. Alejandro Kirk, he won that ABS challenge earlier in the game. He drew the walk. Since he's returned from that injury, can you sum up how valuable he is for this team?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't really realize how valuable he is till he's gone for a long period of time, and guys have stepped up. But Kirky's just been so reliable, such a steady presence, both sides of the ball for us for like 5-6 years now. So nice to have him back. You know, he's got a steady heartbeat, and you know, everyone loves Kirky. So it's nice to have that guy behind the plate.
Steady heartbeat, just like you, right?
Yeah, always, exactly.
Thanks, John. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Tricia. Schneider, boy, his heart was going a mile a minute this week with all the obligations he had to do with the All-Star game in Philadelphia. It's an honor to go, no doubt, but it's a lot on your plate when you're one of the managers for the two teams. Schneider was talking about Miles living in the zone. White Sox had a bunch of soft contact, and then they created some chaos on the base paths. And more soft contact here in this inning, but 2 flyouts.
Came out swinging. 2 pitches, 2 outs quickly, but no need to wait around if you're the Chicago White Sox. There's no need to rack up Spencer Miles' pitch count. Up 5. Continue to be aggressive. Foot on gas here from Chicago White Sox offense.
Benintendi ahead in the count. And he takes a swing on 3-0. Andrew Benintendi, one of the few veterans in this White Sox clubhouse, who reached a milestone every major leaguer hopes to get, that 10-year service time last weekend. Remember, a couple of years ago, signed the largest contract ever granted by the White Sox. 5 years, $75 million. And he has seen a huge jump in hard hit rate this year. Trimmed down a bit in the offseason. And from 3-0, Spencer Miles battles back to strike out Benintendi, but the deficit is 5 for the Blue Jays. Tonight's odds are courtesy of BetMGM. Odds to win American League Manager of the Year, Will Venable, top of the heap. Kevin Cash has done a great job in Tampa Bay as well with the first place Rays, but nobody saw this White Sox team doing what they're doing right now.
Nobody. And we're seeing again signs of it Will Venable affecting this White Sox team. Stealing bases early.
There's a fly ball to center field. Peters underneath it. And Miles Straw is retired. During the break, Tricia caught up with Will Venable. Our manager interview is presented by Sage.
All right, we'll start with Sam Antonacci. I hear he's been described many ways. A baseball bat rat, an old school guy, that mentality. What do you see from him?
Yeah, all of that. You know, he's a guy that just grinds every day. He's so competitive and doesn't take a pitch off.
Another guy who doesn't want a day off, Kyle Teal. I hear that he wants to catch 7 days a week. He started that inning producing offensively for you. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, he would be out there every day if we let him. Obviously, at the catching position, we got to take care of him. But he's a gamer, too, wants to be out there every day.
We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Tricia. Ernie Clement gets caught with that pitch.
Good, Ernie.
Second hit batter for Kay.
Looks like it caught the back foot here of Ernie. Yeah. Right inside that front toe.
Glancing blow, luckily for Clement. We got a chance to chat with Will Venable. I hadn't met him. I don't know if you interacted with him previously, Haas, but just seems like he has such a finger on the pulse of his team.
Sure does. And again, when you have a young team, there's so much to balance. Will Venable, as professional as they come, coming out of Princeton, athlete, basketball player as well. When you see certain things happening in the dugout, you want your young, energetic club to be on the top step with all the energy they can have. So the balance that Will Venable has created for this young club, understanding, hey, all that stuff's great if we can focus on our club. And again, when you see Tarek Skubal, they get into it with the Kansas City Royals, that's telling Will Venable that this young team has no fear. They're going to give you your best shot. So Will Venable done a great job in balancing all of this. And again, pressing the right buttons for this young team, matching them up in great spots.
Guerrero trying to go the other way towards the corner. That ball is foul. Barely missed a homer. Love to see, because we're shielded from where that foul pole and the line extends down the right field line. How close that ball came.
Seemed like Vladdy just flicked it over to the right field side.
This is essentially our view.
Tough to see. Looked incredibly easy there from Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
See where this landed.
This is the best angle we're going to get.
Probably a little bit further over foul ground than it seemed.
Still just looked way too easy for Vladdy Jr. just flicking it to the right side.
Fewest homers in his big league career prior to an all-star break. And he's tended to be a better second half hitter, as we've talked about. Earlier this season, it seemed like he was trying to do everything to get himself going, arriving at the ballpark early, hitting in the cage ahead of batting practice, staying late, doing extra work. Guerrero lines one off the glove of Murakami and into right. Clement going first to third. Sharply hit. Single for Guerrero. And the Blue Jays are in business. Men at the corners and one out.
This is next level stuff here from Vladdy Jr. We saw the White Sox and Andrew Benintendi benefit from that 3-4 hole. Take a look at the opposite from the right-handed hitter, Vladdy Jr. We saw him flick a ball foul right-hand side to the right field side, that is. But what an absolutely beautiful approach. Understanding with that sinking fastball and sweeper, my best chance to have success is that bat path to go right through the right center gap here. Let me use this 3-4 hole. Ernie Clement showing he's hockey tough. That ball off the foot didn't affect him going first to third. Beautiful piece of hitting from Vladdy Jr.
106 off the bat from Guerrero, and now here's Okamoto. Leading home run hitter for the Blue Jays.
Not only the ability, Alex, the bat to ball, as Albert Pujols says, he's a hitter first, but the approach. Vladdy Jr. understanding the situation, understanding Anthony Kay's arsenal, understanding again as well, I got the whole 3-4 hole open. What a beautiful piece of hitting coming from just an advanced approach from Vladdy Jr.
Chopped foul.
And we're seeing Okamoto foul the ball off to the pool side. But look, Vladdy Jr., that's the opposite. This is the approach right here you want to have. Going to the opposite field is going to create his bat path, his barrel to be in that hitting zone as long as possible. So Vladdy Jr. is so covered on that pitch. If that's a fastball, he's going to do exactly what he just did, drive it the other way. If that's a breaking ball, we saw an earlier highlight, Vladdy Jr. pulling a home run last year in the postseason. That's what would have happened.
Ball and 2 strikes to Okamoto, who has hit safely in 9 of 10 games to begin July.
We saw Okamoto foul that ball off to the pool side, the changeup. Learn from your teammates, learn from Vladdy Jr., get your direction going back to right center. With that approach too, Alex, that's going to create RBIs. And again, with every incentive, Anthony Kay gives a right-handed hitter to go the opposite field, the changeup, the sinker. No reason for Okamoto to not be driving to right center.
Nice. Had a good at bat here, working the count full. Look at Anthony Kay's pitch selection so far.
3-2, only one out here. It'll be interesting to see if Vladdy Jr. is running. A lot of teams like to stay out of the double play situation, give that base runner a head start, 3-1, 3-2, with the assumption that the hitter understands if this ball is in the zone, I got to put a good swing on it, and I'm going to make contact.
Good take. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded. And you know who could use a hit in a big moment in the worst way is the man coming to the plate in George Springer. One more look at that last pitch.
Yeah, take a look at this, because beautiful mid-at-bat adjustment from Okamoto. We saw him foul off again, a change-up to the pull side, be out in front, kind of come around it. And he stepped out of the box and said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to move my direction back to right center. That's going to put me on the sinker, sweeper, and the changeup. He laid off some quality pitches that just missed the zone. And here we go, Anthony Kay, get off to a 5-run cushion, and you are right back in a pressure situation here, Alex.
Springer, who has had the largest year-over-year drop in average across the majors. 9 career grand slams. A 4-time All-Star.
Some bigger than others. George Springer is not afraid to hit a big grand slam in this building.
Nowhere to put him. And Kay misses inside. Went to a cut fastball. Springer had a pitch to hit.
Yeah, he sure did. You can see George Springer step out of the box, and he is hoping to get that pitch back. When you think of George Springer at his best, he is sitting on that backside, turning. And when he turns on that backside, the barrel comes along and catches that baseball.
Last year, Springer.
Pitch is called a ball, the catcher's challenging.
As we get a challenge here and a pitch borderline. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. Wow, Kyle Teal, how about that?
Chicago 2 challenges.
How about that is right. I thought in real time Kyle Teal and the White Sox were not going to like the result of that, but great time to use it. Great spot.
Yeah, right. That's how it feels as a hitter now.
No kidding.
That's probably within the margin of error too. Ball and 2 strikes to Springer. Ground ball left side. Flip to second for 1. On to first. Not in time, and a run scores. Clement comes home, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
Some heart and hustle there from George Springer. This will be a great test for the Toronto Blue Jays to figure out how George Springer's feeling. Understanding I got to beat this out. We got to get that run in. That's about a hard 90, as hard a 90 George Springer can give the Toronto Blue Jays right now. So good to see him moving down that line.
Tough ball for Montgomery with the runner crossing in front of him.
Yeah, we saw that ball beat right into the ground. Big hop. And again, for Montgomery, this turf has something to do with it as well. So hard ball to double up Springer on.
So Guerrero now at third. Springer at first for Kirk.
Same situation here for the right-handed hitting Kirk. 3-4 hole is wide open here. Let's see if he can take a page out of that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. approach and take full advantage of it.
Trying to turn on a fastball, biting in on his hands. 62 games that he missed with that thumb injury. 5th game of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned too, Alex, it is the left hand, the receiving hand. So on the defensive end, you know it's not the throwing hand, but you got to wonder if that plays an effect to the base runner. When Kirk's trying to throw base stealers out.
We've already seen the White Sox running on him.
Need a big swing from Kirk here. Still down 4, 2 outs.
Tried to lash it up the right field line. Just behind that fastball.
But interesting to see what Kay goes with here. It was a sinking fastball at 94 miles an hour. Kirk was out in front of it. Kay has a tremendous changeup that is extremely effective to the right-handers. See if he opts to use it here in this situation.
Instead, trying to catch Springer leaning. Those Hartford Whalers colored spikes and gloves. Having to dive back to first in time.
If you're thinking as a hitter again, he just picked off. Maybe that changeup is coming.
3-2.
Kirk has worked the count full.
A lot of times you got to figure offensively, if a left-handed pitcher picks over with 2 strikes in that situation, you kind of think he's going to a breaking ball, and that's the reason why he's picking over before the pitch is thrown.
Not a full count for Kay. He was 0-3 in his last 5 starts.
Murakami and the White Sox continuing to opt to hold George Springer there. They're saying Alejandro Kirk is not going to hit the ball down the right field line. Let's not give Springer a head start.
Ball 4. Second walk of the inning, 3rd of the game, and the 2nd time that Kirk has been put aboard by way of a walk. Bases are loaded once again. Meanwhile, the pitch count has been driven up on Anthony Kay. Now 59 for the game, 25 in this inning. Dalton Varsho steps in.
Typically, you think left on left, the matchup's going to favor Anthony Kay and the pitcher, but Varsho can hit left-handed pitching, especially balls coming into him.
Varsho drives this one to right, but it hooks foul. Hitting .262 against left-handed pitching. Earlier this year, May 13th. How about a walk-off grand slam against the Tampa Bay Rays?
Big swing there in the division. I wouldn't mind seeing the Rogers Center erupt here after another bat, or after another ball off the bat of Varsho.
Breaking ball in the outer half. Only the 5th walk-off grand slam in Blue Jays history. Steve Pearson did it days apart as Varsho stays alive. Varsho been dealing with a wrist injury. Just a $187 since the beginning of June for him. staying healthy, staying in the lineup has been a challenge for Varsho the last 2 years. Become one of the best defensive outfielders in baseball, Varsho. Fastball top rail, and he fouls straight back.
Yeah, what a unique player. Can play a quality center field, can catch as well, can hit left on left pitching.
He's been among those key performers from 2025, struggling this season. Another 1-2. Another foul ball.
Great job from Varsho there to stay in the at-bat. Let's see if he gets rewarded from there. Kay made his pitch, and he's able to just foul it off. Sometimes that'll win you the at-bat if you're able to stay in it.
Great battle here from Varsho. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And a good block from Teal. Kay now with 33 pitches in the inning.
Varsho taking this breaking ball early after fouling off a couple quality breaking balls from Kay. So you got to imagine here, Kay has to execute some sort of fastball. He's got 3 to choose from.
Varsho chases, and the inning is over. The Blue Jays leave them loaded, even after breaking through.
Dude, and I get it. And at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, I'm the wizard. Here comes a homer.
Well, you heard the man. Mike Vasil joins us downstairs. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. It is it's a pleasure to be on right now.
26 years of age, from the Boston area. You're recovering from Tommy John surgery, but you've been with the team all year long. What's that experience been like for you as the not only the cheerleader, but also the wizard in chief down there?
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Acuna. I appreciate that. No, it's been great. The night of actually that I found out that I was getting surgery, I was with Andrew Benintendi, and he's like, dude, we got to have you. We got to have you with us. And it's just been such a special year, too, which makes it so fun. And, I mean, these guys are the best. I love these guys.
The wizard, buddy. I got to meet you in the clubhouse. This is Eric Hosmer. Huge fan, my man. You're a big, strong guy. So I understand the strength, but this power, where did you get the power from, the wizard?
Well, I think the magic wand is something that, we're going to, the full story will stay in the clubhouse, let's say. But, it's been so fun, and I love to fire these guys up. I don't even know how much these guys really like it sometimes. They hit a homer and they're getting whacked on the head with a wand. But I like it. It's a lot of fun.
This seems like just a tight-knit group. Mm-hmm. And you guys bring a lot of energy just from the dugout alone. I want to take you back to that little back and forth that you had with Tarek Skubal. Do you guys intentionally try to get under opponents' skin?
What was so funny about that whole thing is realistically, I'm sitting there, I'm hanging out with the hitting coach. I've also coined myself the assistant to the assistant hitting coach as well. So sometimes, when we're getting a lot of hits, I like to take credit, somewhat. But no, that whole thing, honestly, was awesome. I've said it before. Like, I haven't been able to get angry in a while. I've got frustrations. I'm not happy I'm rehabbing right now. So that happened, and I think I let it fly. It was great.
Let it fly. I love it, the wizard. Let me ask you this, buddy. How the awareness of a full 62-game season, you have to understand, I have to keep it loose, not only the dugout, but the clubhouse as well. The wizard, tell me, how did you understand and how do you understand the feel of this long season and that you have to bring that energy on and off the field for the boys?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not necessarily easy. Also, you know, with every single guy, you don't know what a guy's going through day to day. But look, I got like one of the best gigs in the world right now. I get to hang out with these guys, rehab, have fun, and you know, for me, the job's simple. It's literally show up and be a good dude every day. Like that's literally all that matters. Get through it.
Oh, ground ball snared left side. What a play by Okamoto. And Montgomery is retired.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it is so easy to show up and be positive. Like, this is literally the most fun team I've ever been a part of. Best clubhouse, like, best dudes. And every single day, something new's going on in that clubhouse, and it's a blast.
Tell me a little bit about where the belief seemed to come from, because it's not like you guys got off to the best start and then you started to turn it around bit by bit. Has it just been an incremental increase in confidence?
Yeah, I think, you know, even dating back to like last year, post All-Star break, like we came out hot, and I think the entire team knows how talented we really are. And I don't really think it's a surprise to anyone. As I'm getting pelted with seeds right now, it's always fun. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone on this team that we're doing what we're doing. But I really think that belief starts with, you know, the head guys and Will and the coaching staff, and, you know, just instilling in us confidence and putting us in positions to win. And, you know, ever since I would say probably around the Sacramento trip that we had in Arizona, like it's just been lights out. We've been great.
Give me a quick word on Will Venable and what he's meant, because it seems like he has a real strong connection with the clubhouse.
Will is the GOAT. I know that's 2 words. No, but he's literally the best dude ever. I could approach him literally about whatever I need, whenever it is. Like, he's so chill. He's so awesome. Like, he also wants us to succeed, like, a lot. And, you know, you know, not to bring it back to the surgery, but when I did blow out, came in the next day, and he told me, you know, that I'd be with the team. Like, it was really emotional for me, but also, like, he just allows everyone to be themselves. It's so cool, and it's so awesome that, like, a younger manager like that allows a young team to just be who we are, and I think that's what makes it so good.
Give us an update on you as well, Mike. We know the energy and the electricity you bring to the clubhouse and the dugout, but we know that sinker's real as well. How's rehab going for you?
Yeah, it's going well. You know, it's not always easy every day, but rehab's going well. I was 4 months out this past Wednesday and can't complain.
We wish you the best.
We appreciate the time, Mike. Thanks so much for joining us downstairs.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Can't wait to see you back on that mound, buddy.
Yep.
Decisions presented by Sage. What a moment for Anthony Kay to get out of the bases loaded jam.
Yeah, what a battle as well. We're seeing Varsho saw the sweeper and the 4-seam, and then we're seeing some of the best sweepers Kay featured that Varsho was able to foul off. And after 3 in a row, you got to think Varsho's thinking, okay, he's coming with the fastball. I'm going to anticipate that. Kay just execute another beautiful sweeper for the strikeout.
And now first pitch swinging for Valenzuela, and that will hook foul. Blue Jays brought the tying run to the plate in the form of Varsho in the bottom of the 3rd. Offense has been hard to come by. Steep drop off year over year for a team that finished 2nd in the American League in run scoring last season. Nearly 5 runs per game. They're only averaging a little over 4 this year. Now they enter the break, Toronto, scoring 35 runs over a 5-game span. So you wonder if maybe that sparks something for this Blue Jays team.
Yeah, only 1 run through 3 here, but we see Kay around 70, 71 pitches. They've done a great job of working him. Seems like Chicago White Sox are going to need some quality innings from the bullpen eventually.
Valenzuela is down on strikes. 4 Ks now for Anthony Kay.
4-seamer at the top, 95 miles an hour. Just not much you can do as a hitter. You're thinking that ball starting belt high, you got a chance. But that fastball from Kay just continues to take off.
Kay, who began his career in the Mets organization, traded to Toronto in 2019. This is a hard hit ball, Left field, Arias, gone! Luis Arias turning on the first pitch and jacks it to left. 108 off the bat, and the Blue Jays are within 3.
108 off the bat, as you mentioned, an absolute laser here off the bat of Lewis. And you see a fastball at 94 miles an hour. He's able to catch it out in front and just get it out of the left field wall, over the left field wall. An absolute seed from Arias right there. It's like a cut fastball he tried to get in on the hands. 108 off the bat. Arias catching barrel.
Second homer of the year.
Well, catch is called a ball, catch is challenging.
Challenge powered by T-Mobile here.
Ball is overturned, it is a strike.
Rios coming over from the Arizona organization. Made it a 5-2 game. As now Miles Straw takes low and in, a ball and a strike.
This one far from over. Kay sitting at 75 pitches. After Straw here, we're going to see the top of the lineup for Toronto again. So again, White Sox are going to need some quality innings from that bullpen tonight. Take another look at the homer. Again, you can see that ball going inside right down the middle. Loud off the bat.
He had a rough month of June. Seemed to bounce back at the beginning of July. And for the Blue Jays, it's only their second hit of the night, keep in mind. Been a lot of traffic, hit by pitch, walks. Well, that strikeout of Varsho and the threat in the third looms large. 2-2 here. Straw. Kay spent a couple of years in Japan after he's bounced around quite a bit. Mentioned that he was here in Toronto where he made his major league debut, spent part of 4 seasons. And as Straw pops this up. 2 gone. He's been claimed on waivers 3 times, Anthony Kay, in his career, bouncing between the Cubs, the Mets, Oakland. But then he went to Japan, and he said a similar situation to Eric Freddie and his journey back to the big leagues after he had pitched in Korea and found a home with the White Sox to return to the States. And Kay said that actually inspired him, along with the track record of having a guy like Garrett Crochet go from a reliever back into being a starter, and like what this coaching staff was doing with their pitchers.
I've seen a lot of pitchers come back from playing overseas, and you wonder why. You wonder if it just creates confidence. If you're not facing big league hitters, maybe we're going to trust our stuff a little more.
Yeah.
Be in the zone, and that gives you the confidence when you're coming back to the big leagues to say, you know what? Why not continue to trust my stuff here at the major league level? We see how far it's gotten me. We've seen what it does throughout my career overseas. So this is the final step. Let's continue to trust it.
Oh, 2 here to Ernie Clement as he spoils this one foul. I think we're seeing more and more, not just pitchers, but position players go overseas. Because it's not like it used to be in the minors where teams would be more than happy to stock their AAA team with veterans.
No, guys are taking the opportunity, going right over there.
Clement is down on strikes. 5 punch outs for Anthony Kay. Now the White Sox have a 3-run lead.
Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Goodyear. Well, I am at the coolest spot in in the entire stadium. You're looking at a little bit of a seafood tower right now. I'm at the Rogers Terrace, best seat in the house. This is premium seating, a part of the Blue Jays' $500 million renovation project. This is where you want to be if you are a Blue Jays fan. And over here, you have one of the best views in the house, right behind home plate. Premium seating, amazing food. They've got sushi, they've got wood-fired pizza, they've got a seafood tower, lobster, my personal favorite. They have an ice cream bar. You can custom make any ice cream you want up here. So guys, I think I'm going to stay up here for the rest of the game. But first, we got to talk about the guy down on the field managing the Blue Jays, John Schneider. Of course, we know he managed the American League in the All-Star game, and I asked him what that experience was like. He said, you know what, it was awesome. I had so much fun, but he said one of the coolest parts was watching the experience through my son's eyes. He said they were starstruck by everybody they met. One of the guys that his sons were the most starstruck by, Mike Trout. And John said that was the coolest part of it. And I think that speaks volumes to the family guy that John is, guys. He went through the All-Star game, got all the accolades, they won, and still the coolest part were his sons for him. Guys, I'm going to stay up here for the rest of the game.
Wait.
I'm going to eat some sushi, okay?
Trish, bring us some ice cream while you're at it, please.
I will.
I'm a big seafood tower guy too, Trisha.
Wait. Give me your ice cream flavor.
Can I
What
text
is
it to you?
No, you gotta know. What do you mean you can't
Vanilla,
decide on your ice
extra,
cream?
extra sprinkles. Extra. Just like the limes,
Extra
Trisha. Extra sprinkles.
Extra sprinkles,
That's
just
right.
like the limes that I prefer in my drinks. Yes, I am actually eating sushi up here right now, you guys.
Oh, please.
Living right.
Trisha.
I'm not coming back. Eric, can you fill in on the sidelines?
Yeah.
I got some.
Smart move, Trisha. Smart move.
Chase Madoff with an RBI, or with a leadoff single, I should say. He had an RBI single in the second, and he leads things off in the fifth, getting aboard. That's the last batter for Spencer Miles. Pitching change for the Blue Jays. A 5-0 lead at the time. One of 4 rookies in the lineup for the White Sox tonight. And he'll face the new pitcher for the Blue Jays, Adam Mako. 25 years of age from Slovakia. The first ever Slovakian-born major league player. Played his high school ball in Canada as Adanachi squares around a bunt. This team is not afraid to lay down bunts. Obvious sacrifice situation here.
Sure, come on.
Third most sack bunts in baseball, the White Sox.
Playing the situational game here. Antonacci wants to bunt that ball right to the first base side, just past the pitcher. Might be a free base hit if he's able to get it.
And he'll smack this to left through that gigantic hole on the left side. Antonacci going the other way. And Sam Antonacci is having himself a night.
Yeah, Antonacci says, all right, I saw the slider good. I'm going to trust. I'm going to just drive it over to the left field side. Put a great looking swing on that. And a great decision to decide to can the sacrifice bunt. Let's put a good swing on a slider here.
Since June 1st, hitting north of 300. And an impressive rookie season for Antonacci. First and second, nobody out. And now Murakami.
Come out.
It's no secret Mako's in there to throw breaking balls. We've seen 3 sliders already. It'll be interesting to see if Murakami sits on it or continues to hunt out that fastball.
Ball.
Looping breaking ball that misses high. Murakami not great left on left this year. So he's ahead in the count here. Steve Greenberg of the Chicago Sun-Times had, I thought, a great line in a story he wrote recently that this season for the White Sox has been defined more by pluggers and grinders than one breakout star. But if you are going to have a breakout star, Murakami has to be the guy. He takes his base as they respect the pop he has. And the bases are loaded for the White Sox here in the 5th. And slider features heavily for Matko.
Yeah, there's no secret. That's what he's coming in to throw. That's what's going to continue to be the interesting adjustment to see Murakami make at bats like this against Mako. I like that. Understanding you're not going to get a fastball quality in the zone to hit. He will not throw you that challenge fastball. So hunt out that slider, hunt out where you want it to start, and trust that wherever that pitch you want to start, that's going to end up in your hitting zone. And if not, go ahead and take your base.
Infield in here. About halfway on the left side. As Vargas is out in front of that slider. Actually, PitchCast calling that a changeup.
Yeah, Mako pretty much a 2-pitch mix against the lefties. Against the right-handers, you have to honor that changeup and a 12-6 curveball as well.
Braden Fisher getting loose. Blue Jays bullpen going to be carrying a lot of the load here. Toronto bullpen that has been tagged with 22 losses. Second most in the American League behind only the Royals. And in fact, responsible for their last 2 losses just before the break against the Padres. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Miguel Vargas.
We're seeing Miguel Vargas doing a great job battling, continuing to try and make an adjustment here. You see the changeup and the fastballs. He's fouled off to the pull side. Wants to really change his direction. If he's trying to drive that ball to center field, maybe now move it to right center, trying to really see that contact point deeper.
Vargas strikes out. Huge first out in the 5th.
Huge first out. Well executed changeup here from Mako. See him turn it over there. Miguel Vargas just continuing to not be able to push back that contact point. Just out in front. Quality changeup from Mako.
Colson Montgomery. A slugging shortstop for the White Sox. Pretty good numbers already in his young career with the bases loaded. White Sox leading home run hitter. Trying to provide a little more insurance for Anthony Kay.
Great slider there from Mako. Colson Montgomery seeing a little bit of a different arsenal the first 2 pitches. 2 fastballs, quality fastballs. And that gave Mako the ability to set that slider up, pitching off those 2 fastballs in. Great execution there going east to west.
See where he goes here on 1-2. The lefty hitting Montgomery. It's in the dirt. This is game number 163 in the young career for Colson Montgomery. He hit 20 home runs in his first 275 at bats last year. Took even fewer to get to 20 this year. And you see in franchise history, the first 162 games, he's tops. Montgomery drives this one to the gap. It's down for a hit. Gets all the way to the wall. That will clear the bases. Colson Montgomery, a bases clearing double. And it's 8-2 Chicago.
Gotta wonder if that's a knockout blow here in Toronto. Colson Montgomery putting together a beautiful at-bat here. continuing to trust that approach to left center. 94 running in, caught a lot of plate. Colson Montgomery driving it the other way. And I bet he can't wait to get in that dugout and give Murakami some love, scoring all the way from first.
White Sox will bring a pinch hitter to the plate here. Lifting Andrew Benintendi in favor of Randall Grichuk.
How you doing?
Great base running there from Murakami. Only one out, but still, that ball in the gap. Understand the turf here. That ball is going to go straight to the wall. Springer in left. Maybe he's not 100%. Head down, first to home. Great intent. Great base running.
They're going to intentionally put Grichuk aboard here.
Hold on.
Springer didn't get a great jump on that ball.
That's the deepest part of the stadium too, so no reason for third base coach Justin Jersley to not send home Murakami there. Good all-around aggressive offensive baseball from Chicago White Sox.
And that has quieted this great crowd here in Toronto on a Friday night. Kyle Teal batting here.
Yeah, it certainly felt like Toronto was going to find their way back in this game. Then you get a big line drive opposite field off Montgomery. Now it seems like Will Venable and that Chicago White Sox bench can breathe a little bit.
And for Spencer Miles, who has been a dream year for him, but a nightmare today, giving way to this Toronto bullpen as Teal strikes out. Tricia?
Yeah, guys, let's talk a little Colson Montgomery. Before he was launching home runs for the White Sox, he was just a kid from a small town in Indiana, starring in just about every sport he played. He was a standout quarterback, he was a basketball player, and a shortstop. And he was actually committed to Indiana University and planned to walk on the basketball team before signing with the White Sox out of high school. He said his basketball background still pays off today with the footwork, the lateral quickness, and helping him turn into one of the better defensive shortstops in the game. Guys?
He's a hooper as well. Makes sense why he looks so clean in those city connects that the White Sox feature.
Fly ball, right field. Straw having to go a long way. Makes the catch on the run, and the inning is over. But the White Sox tack on 3 and lead by 6. Ferrari try to track down Mercedes. Rolling hills of the Ardennes, the famous Spa. Coverage of the Belgian Grand Prix begins Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern on Apple TV, the new U.S. home of Formula One. Nightfall here in Toronto. Roof closed at Rogers Center. Well, the White Sox have just about blown the roof off this place with the way that they have gone about their business tonight. 8 runs on 8 hits. Anthony Kay gives way to the White Sox bullpen, and Trevor Richards makes his 25th appearance of the season. The White Sox, who had won 3 in a row coming in, they swept struggling A's team to finish the first half. Outscored the A's in that series 24-2.
Haven't slowed down one bit. Trevor Richards here, parts of 9 seasons in the big leagues. And when you think of Richards, you think of that changeup, that quality strike 2 changeup we saw to Vladdy Jr. But Richards has had some success with his 4-seam fastball at the top of the zone.
The biggest collection of veterans, if you will, is in their bullpen. But even then, not a lot of names that jump off the page. And I think the rest of the league is still getting acquainted with this White Sox team. I mean, all the guys who are under 24 years of age, as this is going to be challenged. Kyle Teal wants this strike. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. Not going to get it.
Confirmed it is a ball. Chicago has 1 count remaining.
Yeah, the vibe I was getting in the clubhouse today, just being around the White Sox, I can only imagine how these veteran players feel being around this young talent that the Chicago White Sox is featuring, because it is just a young, energetic, fun group, and it makes this long, grueling season fun day in and day out.
Guerrero is put away. I mean, you're not kidding about the youth on display for this White Sox team. Youngest team in the American League. And the fans, obviously winning is the big cure-all, but I think they have noticed that even if this White Sox team fades a little bit, it is so hard in a 162-game season. But they have responded big time in Chicago. More sellouts this year than the last 2 seasons combined. I know the Friday night All Access with CHSN, that's been a big hit there.
They give you every reason to believe. We saw Colson Montgomery. You can legitimately believe that he is a superstar. Miguel Vargas is having a career year. On the position player side, Randall Grichuk, Andrew Benintendi. Other than that, there is not multiple years of service time from anybody else on that side.
All right, let's head to the studio, get an update from some of the other action around the league. Lauren Gardner, what do you got?
Hello, Alex. Let's get you out to Boston for the Red Sox and the Rays bottom 3 tie game. Wilyer Brayer with a solo shot to right center. He got all of that one is for his 13th homer of the season to give Boston a 4-3 lead. How about this? Sox looking to sweep the doubleheader and win 11 straight.
LG, they won game 1 of that game 10-0. I think the consensus was that there was no way the Red Sox were as bad as they were to begin the year, but look at this. They could get back to 500?
They sure can.
Wow.
Seems like the Red Sox as well, not slowing down. That All-Star break did not affect them.
There was a 3-way tie coming into the day for the final wild card spot in the American League. Boston is now in one of those spots. This Toronto team will be in Boston next week, part of what no doubt is a difficult start to the second half with their schedule. We'll be there on Friday night as well. Friday Night Baseball returning to Apple TV next week. Blue Jays Red Sox, part of our twin bill.
American League wide open. Still feels, if you're a team in the American League.
Springer to left field. Pretty deep. That ball is gone. 2-out homer for George Springer. Second homer of the night for Toronto, and it's 8-3.
George Springer still feeling good enough to sit on that backside and turn. When he sits on that backside and turns, it seems like that's how he just catches the baseball with his barrel. Able to hit a homer to left field here. 96 miles an hour off the bat. That is how you pull a baseball in the air. 91 from Richards. George Springer sitting on that backside, turning and burning.
He's one of those guys that the Blue Jays will be leaning on in the second half.
They know how important a healthy George Springer is to this lineup. Impressive stuff there from Springer. Richards again with that quality changeup. Inside fastball, you really have to turn and get that ball out in front as quick as you can as a hitter. So with that pitch arsenal, George Springer, his ability to turn on that fastball tells me he's seeing the ball great. Once again, we just have to have George Springer healthy. And you can count on seeing multiple swings like that throughout the rest of this pennant chase for Toronto.
Remember last year, one of the turning points for the Blue Jays was his 7 RBI day on Canada Day. And they got off to a slow start in the first half last year, not nearly as dramatic as this season. But that announced to the baseball world that the Blue Jays were here to stay. They have not had a moment like that yet this season.
It seemed like the Rogers Center, the roof was going to explode off the Rogers Center when he hit the walk-off grand slam.
3-2.
And you're right, Alex, there was no looking back from that point on for Toronto Blue Jays, this city, playing quality baseball from that point on.
Patrick Corbin getting loose for the Blue Jays. He can provide some innings. As Kirk smacks one up the middle for a base hit. Antonacci coming a long way to cut it off, but Kirk reaches for the third time tonight.
That's it. George Springer, the backside. You pull a baseball by being able to sit on that backside and stay through the ball, turn and burn. George Springer, when healthy, sits on that backside better than pretty much a majority of the hitters in this league.
Bring up Valenzuela. I beg your pardon, Varsho. Valenzuela on deck. And Varsho with a towering fly ball to right field. Peters is underneath it. And that'll end the inning. Toronto gets one back. It's 8-3. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And a reminder, from official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, MLB Shop has you covered. Scan the QR code for the official source for your favorite team here. Alex Faust, Eric Hosmer, Tricia Whitaker with you in Toronto. Patrick Corbin comes out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Will face 8-9-1 here for the White Sox in the 6th. Corbin, a longtime starter in this league. World Series winner with the Nationals. Tristan Peters leading things off here for the White Sox. Peters is hitting .301 this year. He is the first ever Major League All-Star for the province of Manitoba.
Right here, right here, right here.
Tricia was talking earlier about kind of a dream week, hitting for the cycle. Only the 7th player in franchise history to do that. Named an All-Star reserve the very next day. And you see here, among players with 275 or more plate appearances, Peters is right up there with Yandy Diaz and Yordan Alvarez. Tricia, you have more?
Yeah, guys, it's just been a remarkable journey for him. You talk about a whirlwind season. Before this year, he only had 4 games of Major League experience. Last week at this time, I talked about it in the open of the show. He had to look at his wife and say, sorry, we got to cancel our trip during the All-Star break to the lake house. And normally, that might be upsetting for someone's wife, but that wasn't the case because that meant he was going to Philly. You mentioned it last Friday. He hit for the cycle. Will Venable said, listen, he just kind of came out of nowhere and he's exceeded expectations. It's really been incredible to watch. The White Sox acquired him for cash, and he didn't even know if he would make the team in spring, and now he's an all-star.
And even after that, Trish, I mean, the whirlwind at the All-Star break, his wife, Erin, she's been great, welcoming a baby girl in the middle of spring training, and they've had to balance that as a family. We mentioned it. He was playing for the Savannah Bananas at one point. Collegiate Wood Bat League team at the time, not the Barnstormers that we know of here today. And he used a Bananas-themed bat at the All-Star game.
How about it? Still repping. And I bet he told his wife, Erin, said, hey, listen, if I make a couple more of these All-Star games, we can upgrade this lake house from a rental to maybe our primary residence. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? When you look up and down through this White Sox roster, especially on the offensive side, it seems like Peters, Mydroth, and Antonacci, those guys can be super versatile. They can set the tone. They can beat you in many ways, power included. And then you look at the star power, Montgomery, Murakami, Miguel Vargas. You start to really understand why not only the South Side fans of Chicago are buying into this club, but all throughout the world, it is easy to buy into this White Sox team. And if they go ahead and add some pitching, especially to that bullpen, they can make some noise in this American League.
Fly ball right field from Mydroth. Straws underneath it. Oh boy, Peters tagging, heading to second. In there. Straw got that throw to the bag on time, seemingly, but Peters was able to slide around the tag.
And you're not seeing it there, but I know Will Venable loves this base running move from Peters, because you're understanding right fielders, if you are drifting away from second base and that ball is carrying, continuing to carry throughout the line, all your momentum is going away. So that throw you have to make, you got to make that throw from a dead stop, and it's got to be right on the money, and it was, but just not enough. Great base running, great aggressive base running from Peters and the Chicago White Sox.
They've been running in the face of the Blue Jays all night.
You can see that play develop. Peters got off, great secondary lead, and as he saw Straw continue to drift towards that line, he said, okay, I'm going to go back and commit to tagging up here.
Lineup turns over to Sam Antonacci. You know, Peters has just been so much fun to watch and earned that trip to the All-Star game. There was a bit of a scare when his wife threw out her back, because she's been carrying their now 4-month-old daughter around and just being a rock for the family, and she went to the hospital in some pain, was okay. They've had to manage a lot as a family, and he is a remarkable story, grinding through the minors to get his chance here on his 4th major league organization. Tristan Peters.
Yeah, they'll be in the south side of Chicago for a little while, and he's earned every bit of that.
I mean, they're pretty close.
Mentioned that he's from Manitoba. Now 6 of the 10 Canadian provinces have an MLB All-Star.
It was so cool being able to talk to Will Venable before the game about Peters.
As Antonacci rolls over on one. Off the mound, covers Corbin, and he just barely got to the bag. Peters dancing off third, trying to draw a throw as he advances on the ground ball.
This becomes a race between Mydroth and the pitcher Corbin. Little head first dive. Let's see if he's able to get that. Ooh, and that looks very close, but Will Venable and the Chicago White Sox opting to play on. But again, with Peters and talking to Will Venable, he mentioned how in spring training the progression and development that Peters was doing offensively. He said, every time you come up and I see an open window for you to drop a bunt down, I want you to try and take advantage of that opportunity. As time went on throughout spring training, now some of the corner infielders are playing in, and Will Venable tells Peters, okay, go ahead and get your swings in. Next thing you know, he starts barreling some baseballs, makes the team out of spring training, just continuing to make the most of opportunity.
Murakami now.
See Murakami asking if that ball's a ball inside. Hard sinking fastball there from Corbin. Good chance Murakami's going to see a good dose of breaking balls.
Strike.
That's strike one. That fastball in the inner half. That's the pitch for Patrick Corbin and the left-handed pitcher that says, okay, I've got Murakami set up there. I executed strike one on a quality fastball in. Now we go to the bread and butter, the breaking balls. Still have to execute.
And Murakami rounds one to first. Scooped up by Guerrero. He'll win the foot race to the bag. And the inning is over. Leadoff single for Peters, but he's stranded.
With the first pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Chicago White Sox select Rock Chalewski, a shortstop from UCLA.
Oh, what a reaction. White Sox with the #1 overall pick in Saturday's draft last week. Their first #1 overall pick since 1977 when they selected future Hall of Famer Harold Baines. Signed a record $10.3 million bonus, Rock Chalewski. As this is drilled to right field. If it's fair, it's gone. That ball is gone. Third homer of the night for the Blue Jays. They've all been of the solo variety. But they chip away once again, and the deficit is down to 4. Brandon Valenzuela turning on one as he bats from the left side.
Turning on one is absolutely right. An absolute linia here from Brandon Valenzuela. 8th homer of the year. Hits at 104 miles an hour. Turned around the fastball here from Richards. And this ball was on a rope. Out of here, right field side. Fastball down. That's a sweet spot for the left-handed hitter.
There's that new prop in the Blue Jays dugout.
Far from over, Alex.
Home run dragon. You got to counter the magic on the other side. Tricia?
Yeah, who hasn't heard of a home run dragon, right? It's a new home run celebration. Definitely one of the more unique ones. Along with the team's home run jacket, hitters are now greeted by that stuffed red dragon on a stick. And it was picked up at a toy store in San Francisco by hitting coach David Popkins, who says it symbolizes fearlessness.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you can find any symbol to latch onto, right? That jacket for so many years just representing the fabric of all the different cultures and communities woven into this Toronto team and into this Toronto city.
How does that dragon match up against that wizard, Tricia? That's what I'm wondering. Far from over in this one. Seems like Toronto taking a couple gut punches, but great at bat after great at bat. Only down 4.
Let's go back to the home run.
Turn Valenzuela around to the left side, and you can see no stride. He's keeping the front foot down, just relying on that front toe, touching and turning the backside from there.
8th home run for the rookie catcher, DHing tonight. And now Miles Straw will bat. Half swing off the glove of Murakami, and safe at first. Straw charging up the line. Richards seemingly was there. Did he beat it out?
White Sox going to take another look. Murakami, as soon as he goes towards the second base side, it becomes a race. And let's see, the White Sox are confident that Richards got that foot down and made contact with the first base bag. Let's see.
Replay review powered by Zoom. And they'll take a look at New York.
Certainly going to need a better angle, but you see Richards try and reach again. And that usually tells the umpire he's telling you he didn't touch the bag.
Ooh. Yeah, from the side, his foot was there, but did it actually contact the bag? Yeah, it looks from there as though he beat him, but if it's from this angle not grazing the bag, Straw will be safe.
And I think it does graze the back just a little bit right there. To me, that's enough, but it's going to be interesting. Call on the field usually has a lot to do with it, so let's see what the decision is. It is close.
Taking their time in New York with this one.
And understand why.
Brian Gorman, former Major League umpire, joins us now. You've seen a couple of angles. What's your take?
Well, it's that one angle they have that shows the foot touching the base is the important one, the one they're showing right now. It's got to be clear and convincing that he beat the runner to the base. I don't know if they have that, but if they have a lot more angles than we do, because they have eight home and 8 away, so they got 16 camera angles to play with.
Based on
but
the
it has to be clear and convincing evidence that the call was missed on the field. So the call on the field is very important, as you said.
Based on what you saw, safe or out?
Well, if they have an angle that shows that foot touches it, then they would overturn it. If they don't have an angle that clearly shows it.
Well, they saw enough in New York to overturn it, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Murakami thought that was the third out. Stay on first. That was a close moment, but the challenge successful for Will Venable.
Extremely close. Usually when the umpires tend to take a little bit longer throughout the replay review, you're thinking to yourself, they're continuing to look for another angle to make that clear and convincing. So as time went on, I really did think that the call was going to hold and there wasn't enough to overturn it, but clearly they found that angle.
So instead of a base runner for Ernie Clement, base is empty, 2 outs, and Clement ahead of this pitch, trying to extend his 7-game hitting streak. Coming into the day hitting .296, top 5 in the American League.
Good take there from Clement. After being out in front of the fastball at the top of the zone there from Richards, you know again he's going to come at you with that quality changeup. So you continue to have to see that ball deeper and deeper and deeper if you're Clement.
And Clement fights it off the hands and dunks it into right.
Great at bat, great 2-strike approach here from Ernie Clement. Again, we got to be aware of that changeup, so we need to see this ball deep. 92-mile-an-hour fastball catches a lot of plate. Clement able to stay inside and just dunk it in there.
White Sox will make a pitching change here. Light a fuse inside of Rogers Center here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. coming to the plate. New pitcher in for the White Sox is Sir Anthony Dominguez. Guerrero certainly has plenty of experience facing him. But can he get the monkey off his back? Can he get one here at home?
Sir Anthony not getting any comms from his pitch comm. Typically when relief pitchers enter the game, you got to figure offensively. If you're Vladdy Jr., he's in there for one specific pitch. I know he has 4 quality pitches, but against the righties, Sir Anthony Dominguez has had a lot of success with the sweeper. And if you're looking at Vladimir Guerrero Jr., if he has any holes against the right-handed pitcher, the sweeper so far in 2026 has gotten him. So it'll be interesting to see here if Sir Anthony Dominguez comes right to the gates with the sweeper or tries to establish the fastball to set up the sweeping breaking ball at some point in time in this at bat.
Big swing, chasing that one.
A 98-mile-an-hour fastball, four-seam at the top of the zone certainly sets you up for whatever you want to do here.
Guerrero lines this the other way. It will stay up for Montgomery. A hard hit ball for Guerrero. Blue Jays get one back yet again. And it's a 4-run game. Milo returns to Apple TV, continuing the story. Thousands of people living underground due to mysterious circumstances. Rebecca Ferguson and Common star in the hit sci-fi series. New episodes streaming on Apple TV every Friday. Eugene Levy, the reluctant traveler, proud Canadian. Vargas, Montgomery, and Grichuk, 3, 4, and 5 for the White Sox. And there's a base hit for Vargas to lead off the 7th.
Nice piece of hitting there from Miguel Vargas. Change up from Patrick Corbin. Vargas taking it the other way. That's the best swing of the night from Vargas right there. We've seen him trying to get his timing back to right field. Good matchup for him there, left, right, to get that timing back. Quality swing.
And Miguel Vargas, a great story of perseverance. Former top prospect with the Dodgers. Couldn't cut it in LA as Colson Montgomery bats here. When Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech were sent to the Dodgers, it was part of a 3-team deal that put Vargas in Chicago. Imagine going from a team that was on the cusp of winning the World Series and you're cast off to the worst team, one of the worst in baseball history.
It's an atmosphere change, no doubt about it. Credit to him for buying in to everything going on the South Side here.
Well, he said, Vargas, he lost his love for the game at the time when that trade went down. His last 42 games of the White Sox that year, he hit 104. And essentially he said he just doubled down and said, you know what, I'll stick with it. And in some ways he's become the team MVP, leading them in runs batted in, leading them in doubles, top 10 in the American League in extra base hits. Type of tone setter when you're talking about culture long term, where this organization wants to be.
Yep, we saw him in Philly, like you mentioned. He is a part of this organization's long-term plan, and credit to him, because Alex, it is not easy getting traded at the deadline from a team that is going to be in the playoff race to a team that all of a sudden is not. And you can see Vargas. There was a couple clips, couple pictures when he first got traded over to the White Sox where he maybe mentally was not all in, but credit to him for getting back into it.
Trisha, you have more?
Yeah, guys, it was not easy. Last year, he was hitting 104 after the trade. He watched the Dodgers win the World Series, but last week, standing on the All-Star stage, he said it was surreal. That's what was going through his mind in the moment. And Alex, you referenced this. When he was named an All-Star, he made a speech to the clubhouse. You watch that video, you're going to have tears in your eyes. If you don't have a pulse. In tears, he said, a couple years ago, I never believed I could enjoy the game, but you guys proved me wrong. And he pointed to his teammates. He told me before the game this group helped restore his love for the game. Touching.
Awesome to see. That video is absolutely, I completely agree, Trisha, worth your time. And the list of guys who have done what he's done before the All-Star break in White Sox history is pretty stark, starting with the Big Hurt.
Strong list there. 20 homers, 20 doubles, all before the break.
White Sox threatening for more here in the 7th. And we're talking about culture and long term where this organization is going to be. They now have the luxury in a year where they're in first place in the division of drafting #1 overall and adding to that. Line drive on one hop, knocked down by Okamoto. He'll go to second and won't get it out there with Arias off the bag. A wide throw after he saved a run by knocking that ball down, but Okamoto couldn't hit the target, and the bases are loaded.
This is a tough hop here for Okamoto. Stays in there, takes it off the chest, just tries to get the force out at second here, but the throw just brings Arias off. But it looks like Toronto wants another look.
Toronto challenge on the safe off second base.
What's your gut tell you?
You're going to have to get to working in that replay room, because obviously you're going to have to freeze it right when that ball hits the glove. But I will say here, Alex, I've learned in 2014 when replay review came to the big leagues, these are the type of plays as first baseman you realize that foot hangs on longer than you anticipated in real time. So extremely close play here.
Replay review powered by Zoom.
But I will answer it for you, Alex, and I'm going to say yes, I'm going to agree, and I think this one's going to be out, overturned.
Oh, so close. When did his foot come off the bag with the ball in the pocket of the glove? That will determine the outcome of this replay review.
After review, the call in the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Toronto loses the challenge.
Well, I put myself out there for you, Alex, and got it wrong, but close. Bang, bang play here.
So the bases are now loaded.
You can understand why Schneider and the Blue Jays decided to use that challenge. Huge situation here.
Kyle Teal at the plate.
These are the situational at-bats that Will Venable mentioned in his office earlier today. He wants to see this young White Sox club continue to get better at throughout the season.
Teal had an RBI double in the second. Now has 14 runs batted in a 17-game span since being promoted, or since making his season debut, I should say. Teal out in front there. Hamstring and knee injuries delayed his start to the season. Hamstring injury running the bases for Team Italy early in the World Baseball Classic. As Teal is out in front of this one. And then while he was rehabbing that injury, had a sprained right knee in AAA and set him back. Didn't make his season debut until June 22nd. By the way, official scoring has come down. Fielder's choice E5, allowing Randall Grichuk to reach. And setting up this situation, bases loaded, nobody out. Teal is fanned. Corbin stayed with the off-speed stuff.
Stayed with it. We saw him execute a quality breaking ball 2-0 in the hitter advantage count. Stuck with it. Was able to execute again with 2 strikes. Put away Teal.
And now John Schneider will go to his bullpen with the switch hitting Braden Montgomery coming up. In baseball, the #2 prospect in the White Sox organization. And he smacks one to right field against the new pitcher, Braden Fisher. That'll get down into the corner, and it might clear the bases again. 3 runs will come home on a bases clearing triple for Braden Montgomery. And the White Sox have blown it open in the 7th.
Very well possible, could be the final blow there. Braden Montgomery continue to climb up that prospect rankings list. Quality swing here, catching that breaking ball out in front. Pull side, clearing the bases. Recognizing that Toronto full focus was getting out at home. Was able to advance to third on that as well.
Braden Montgomery with his first career big league triple.
See him again, taking off out of the box, ball down the right field line. We know the runner's scoring from home, and we also know we see Toronto is trying to get that out at home. So let's go ahead and get this triple.
Fly ball to right field, sending Straw back in front of the wall. He'll make the catch. Montgomery will tag and head home to make it a dozen on the night for the Southsiders.
A dozen. Good team baseball here. A lot of high fives for everyone in that dugout for the Chicago White Sox. Good team baseball here. We saw Montgomery get to third and get Tristan Peters up in that situation. Guy on third, less than 2 outs. Peters understands. You see him talking to that ball, saying, come on, keep going, keep going. Just short, but able to get the sac fly.
What a performance for this White Sox team north of the border tonight. Braden Fisher's numbers on the season. And a fly ball here from Mydroth to left. Springer underneath this to end the inning. But 4 more come home as we hit the 7th inning stretch. And the White Sox are in command. Looper will get down into left field. There goes the runner, Braden Montgomery. Up the middle, base hit. That ball is gone. Sam Antonacci. Colson Montgomery, bases clearing double. We welcome you inside the booth here in Toronto. Alex Faust, Eric Hosmer here with you. This White Sox team is picking up where they left off in the first half.
They have not slowed down one bit. They give you every reason to believe. This young core playing situational baseball, energy for days. They haven't had to use the wizard that much today because this young offense has been coming through in big situational at-bats.
Yeah, this White Sox team, seemingly it's a different guy each time. We talked about the 3 guys with 20 homers, but everyone is chipped in tonight. I mean, it is a messy scorecard if you're a Blue Jays fan. New pitcher into the game for the White Sox is the rookie left-hander Tyler Schweitzer, but they just continue to impress. This White Sox team averaging nearly 5 runs per game, and even though Anthony Kay didn't have his best stuff, just 4 innings of work, the offense has done the rest to pick him up. This is maybe one of the missing ingredients for the White Sox this year, is their performance on the road. Just 19-28 this season.
Young club, you can understand it. Showing no signs of it though so far here. First game coming out of the break here at the Rogers Center. What a fun team. What a fun, exciting team to watch. This 2026 Chicago White Sox.
By the way, the other side of the equation, Boston finished off Tampa Bay to sweep the doubleheader today. So they now sit alone in the final wild card spot. They gain a half game on Toronto. So it's now 3 back for the Blue Jays. 3.5 if they lose this one. And I know it's July 17th, but not getting help. Minnesota still up on the Cubs 4-1. They'd get back into a tie with the Red Sox. And this upcoming schedule, we talked about it in the pregame show, does not do the Blue Jays any favors.
Nope, and we know the American League is wide open. So you're going to have to play your best baseball. And if you tell your own clubhouse, hey, let's control what we can control, we'll be confident that we'll be back in October. But when you look at this schedule right here, all the way up until August 23rd, Toronto Blue Jays are going to have to be playing their best baseball.
including today. This is 11 straight series, plus a makeup game, all against teams in playoff contention.
And Boston playing their best baseball, haven't slowed down, not one bit. Tell you what, this game tonight has been certainly all Chicago White Sox. Toronto Blue Jays continue to put in good at bat after good at bat. So there's certainly no reason for the Toronto Blue Jays fans to lose hope in this team. You got Ernie Clement first and foremost. You want to see George Springer healthy throughout the rest of the second half. But the offense tonight, great at bats. Would definitely love to see a little more out of the pitching side.
One thing that is still missing, though, and Guerrero 1 for 4, a couple of hard hit balls, but if he is going to be that aircraft carrier, better start soon.
Strike.
Also just goes to show you how hard it is to not only clinch a spot in the postseason, but make it all the way to the World Series. You watch the Toronto Blue Jays last year go up against the LA Dodgers. You see a young Savage come up with a devastating split finger. Kevin Gausman leading that rotation. You figure they got to be right back in October, but they're going to have to earn it if they are back in October this year.
Strike 3 called on Kirk. A 1-2-3 seventh for Schweitzer. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is presented by Goodyear and by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Alex Faust, Eric Hosmer, Tricia Whitaker with you in Toronto. What a statement to start the second half for the Chicago White Sox. Out of the bullpen for Toronto is C.J. Van Eyck, who makes his major league debut. He'll face the top of this White Sox order. 12 runs for the South Side on 11 hits. New left fielder for the Blue Jays, Jonathan Clase, takes over for George Springer. There haven't been many opportunities on a national stage yet for this White Sox team to announce their arrival. I think a lot of people around the game have looked at results and maybe watched a game here or there and said, oh, yeah, pretty good young team. Oh, what a nice little story they've got there in Chicago. They are for real the way they're looking right now.
Yeah, it's real.
One gone here in the 8th. Let's take a look at our game summary and cap off the night presented by Blue Moon. 2 bases clearing extra base hits.
That's right. Listen up, Southside, because here at the Montgomery & Montgomery Law Firm, if you load the bases up, we are guaranteed to clear them for you. Colson Montgomery, we saw going the other way, clearing the bases there with that double, and then Braden Montgomery down the right field line, clearing the bases, getting a triple out of it. First career triple, that is.
Gonna have a challenge here. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. Sounded like the mic wasn't working for home plate umpire Scott Barry. Strike 1 to Murakami. White Sox going for a 4th straight win. And meanwhile, on the other side of the equation, Toronto in last place in the AL East as Murakami shortens up and goes the other way. They are about to be 7 games under 500.
Just when you think the night can't get any better for the White Sox, here's Murakami getting on the board. Second half, first hit, 109 miles per hour off the bat. And that's the reason why he is 99th percentile when it comes to every barrel hard hit metric there is.
Vargas now at the plate. I just want to kind of finish up that note about the Blue Jays and how far below 500 they're going to be. Last year, oh, look out. Vargas will be put on. Last year they had an 8-game deficit in the division. They entered today 12 games out to the Yankees, who are in the bottom of the ninth, losing 2-1 to the Dodgers as they try to gain ground on the Rays, who lost twice today. But the division is not in a conversation at all here in Toronto anymore. They're just fighting for their lives in the wild card. And it's going to take a heroic effort, it feels like, pull themselves out of this morass. Vargas will be lifted from the game for a pinch runner, Luis Angel Acuna, who was throwing sunflower seeds earlier today at Mike Vassell during our interview.
Just waiting for that White Sox team to start having some fun. Certainly don't want to speculate there, but good sign from Miguel Vargas, giving high fives, coming in the dugout there. Last thing the White Sox want to see. Hit by pitch on the hand there.
Kirk is going to challenge this borderline pitch. I think we lost the home plate umpire and the microphone, so they're going to show it up on the big board and you'll get to see it at home. Kirk won't get the call. And as you see at the top of your screen, that one dot below the Blue Jays logo, down to one challenge.
And I respect it from Kirk. There might be some people out there thinking it's 12-4. Why are we challenging? But we got a major league debut taking place, and he's a catcher. He's not taking one pitch off back there. Got to respect it.
Van Eyck facing Colson Montgomery. And he gets Montgomery for the second out. Montgomery with quite the night. 2 hits, 3 driven in, scored twice. Mentioned the Yankees. White Sox will have another crack at him in the coming days. This 3-game series against the Blue Jays. First career strikeout here for Van Eyck as he will take one more look. And a 3-game series with the Rangers. Ah, yeah, save that baseball.
Oh, yeah. Colson Montgomery, that's a good first strikeout to get, too. We know he'll be a superstar, if not already.
Oh. Starting to look ahead here with the White Sox schedule. We're talking about the Blue Jays and how difficult it might be for them. White Sox are going to have some tests coming up, too. Rangers, Astros, Yankees, Rays, Red Sox, and then the Guardians in that AL Central race at the top. So that's a month of playoff contenders to deal with.
Oh, yeah. American League, there's certainly an argument that the caliber of play hasn't been up to par so far, but it seems like looking at the schedule, there's going to be some quality matchups heading down the road here, heading down the stretch.
Do you buy into the argument that just because the win-loss is where it's at, that it's a down year? Or do you think that quality is in the eye of the beholder?
I tell you what, I think that's been the common theme for Major League Baseball the last 2 or 3 years. The National League, in my opinion, has been head and shoulders above the American League when you think about it. The AL East certainly produces strong teams, but it seems like everyone's floating around that same 500 level this year in the American League.
To the home half of the 8th we go in TO.
Lauren Gardner with your Apple TV studio update. Dodgers Yankees in the Bronx. Top 7, 1-0 Yanks until Max Muncy takes this one for a ride to the second deck and right off Garrett Cole's 103rd pitch of the night. 2-1 LA. That was the final score, Alex.
Wow. Knocking Cole out of the game in a tight one up in the Bronx. And the LA Dodgers, they're the quietest, best team in baseball we've had in a while. It just seems like it's perfunctory as you take a look at the defensive changes for the White Sox.
My goodness. Yeah, about as quiet as Max Muncy thought after that home run. Do you think he got it or not? Wow. I mean, he told that bat, get off of me. I'm going to stick my chest out and let's look and see where this one lands.
There's nothing like hitting it into the second deck and right in Yankee Stadium. Oof.
Good teams find ways to win the game late. 7th inning there, the Dodgers, 1-run game. They always find a way. We saw them get tested last year in this World Series in every which way possible, and they answered.
Driven by Varsho to center field, but it'll be tracked down by Peters. Who's top of your list if you're going to predict a World Series matchup? Who do you have right now?
My preseason pick, honestly, was the Toronto Blue Jays getting back from the American League and seeing a rematch with the LA Dodgers. And I certainly still want to believe in Toronto, especially after seeing the at-bats from the offense tonight. They were definitely one big swing, one big hit away. They can trust their pitching with Dylan Cease, with Kevin Gausman. They got to get healthy. But again, when you start to think of this trade deadline that's looming early in August, for the American League, in my opinion, whichever team goes out and spends and lands that big free agent to be target, whoever that trade target is, that's who's going to separate themselves in the American League. So yes, what I'm telling you is if Tarek Skubal is on the board, whoever goes out and acquires him will put themselves in the driver's seat in the American League.
Hey, who knows? Maybe the White Sox will take a swing. It would have to cost them a lot of futures to do it.
Yep.
And I wonder how aggressive they're going to be as Valenzuela is punched out by Schweitzer. Now, the Blue Jays have been banged up. I think there's no way around that either. Addison Barger's been out for a while. Jose Barrios coming back from Tommy John. Francis out for the year. Possibly going to come back late, but doubtful. Sosa out. Scherzer's been on and off hurt this year.
I see a lot of quality arms on that list. You never want to see the injured list, obviously. If we can turn injuries off before the season, we could, we would. We'd find a way, but quality arms that are on that injured list for Toronto. And you got to figure if at least half of those guys were healthy, it'd be a different situation.
They could probably use the bat of Barger just as much as anything else because the pitching seemingly has been fine. I mean, Dylan Cease started the All-Star game, obviously well-deserved, leading the American League in strikeouts. And they need more offense here.
Yeah.
Arias flies out to end the inning. To the 9th we go in Toronto. Tonight's aerial coverage in Toronto is brought to you by Goodyear, high above Rogers Center. Great pictures outside. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. New first baseman for the Blue Jays as Sean Keys comes into the game. Giving Guerrero just a few extra minutes off his feet.
First time back here at the Rogers Center for me in a long time, and I could not be more impressed from what they've done to this stadium, from the home side visiting, home locker room, the visiting locker room, the renovations, the elevated bullpens. This place, this is an atmosphere here, Alex.
We never did get our ice creams with the extra sprinkles.
Or the seafood tower.
Or the seafood tower.
Tough.
We'll have to follow up after the game.
I'm not going to blame Trisha. Our teammate did leave us and said, hey, you guys got the rest of it. I'm going to stay here from here on out.
Teal will fly this one foul. I mean, they've sunk so much money into this ballpark at, you know, obviously last year got all the way to the World Series, got to show it off. $500 million renovation. A lot of social spaces that they've added. This is one of them. The patio, the flight deck. Off the hands, cue shot foul. By the way, Trisha, where'd you wind up?
Oh, well, unfortunately, I had to come back down here and do my job. So I had to leave all the lobster and the sushi and the wood-fired pizza behind. But let me tell you, that place up there is amazing. There's a back patio, too, that overlooks the lake. It's absolutely beautiful. And like I said, the custom ice cream bar, it's premium seating. It was a part of their $500 million renovation project here at the Rogers Center. You have to have season tickets up there to sit there. But let me tell you, you're living in luxury up there. It's amazing. And they don't just have sprinkles. They've got marshmallows. They've got the cinnamon toast crunch you can put on top. They've got the fruity pebble. Hey, you know what? I do have to make you guys jealous from a time or two. You guys are up in your little comfy booth.
That's true. You know what? You deserve that, Trish.
Remember
after
last week?
Yeah, I was about to say you were drowning in rain and
6
worms
inches of water
in the St. Louis Cardinals dugout last week.
And Haas, let me tell you, Alex and Spilly, they had the nerve to FaceTime me during the rain delay of 2 hours and 43 minutes from their cozy warm booth. Well, I was in the dugout, crouched in the corner because I couldn't stand on the dugout floor.
We were doing a welfare check.
And they were like, how you doing down there, Trish? And I'm like, go away.
I am certainly not calling you a liar, Trisha, but that is not the Ryan Spilbro, the Spilly that I know and love. I don't see him doing that. I don't know.
No, 100% he would do that. This is driven to center field. Varsho is there to make the catch. Teal is retired.
Yeah, there really isn't a bad place to watch a game here at the Rogers Center, and even for batting practice. I mean, it was popping during batting practice. Murakami was putting on a show. Just a fun atmosphere here.
You liked it here as a player. Getting word your career average here was .307.
Okay, I'll take that. I will absolutely take that. This place, again, the Kansas City Royals in 2015, 16, created a nice little rivalry against the Toronto Blue Jays, and we had some very intense games here.
Yeah, I heard people chirping you.
They were
on the way in today.
Great chirps, though. It's hockey chirps, hockey level chirps, so could do nothing but hat tip them. One of the coolest moments I remember being here in that 2015 season, and speaking of the trade deadline coming up, we were in the visiting dugout down there in the first base side, losing to Toronto, and it was about the 6th or 7th inning, and they had just acquired Troy Tulowitzki and David Price via trade, and all of a sudden, here comes David Price in that third base dugout, and you see him on the big board, and these fans at the Rogers Center here, it was sold out. They absolutely erupted. And I'll never forget, we all looked at each other in that Kansas City dugout and said, all right, boys, we know if we want to get back to the World Series, it's going to come through here. It's going to come through the Toronto Blue Jays, especially after getting two horses like Price and Tulo.
Montgomery up the middle, and he's retired. Now this building has seen some great moments since it opened in 1989. None bigger than this one, though. Joe Carter in the '93 World Series with the Blue Jays going back-to-back, and he will receive a much-earned statue outside of Rogers Center. One of the great moments in baseball history, frankly. And that statue unveiling will take place tomorrow here in Toronto.
So cool. Doesn't matter how many times you see that highlight. It's hard not to get goosebumps seeing Joe jump up and down.
That's why there were so many people across baseball who were looking at this Toronto team last year and saying, boy, there were so many callbacks, so many hallmarks. And they were inches away in Game 7. It was not to be.
Inches.
Last licks for the Blue Jays here as we head to the bottom of the ninth in Toronto. We welcome you back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Goodyear. Along with the 13-year Major League veteran Eric Hosmer. Trisha Whitaker down to the field. Alex Faust here with you. Rogers Center in Toronto. Blue Jays down to their final 3 outs. 9-1-2 here, and what is a save situation for the rookie Tyler Schweitzer. Going for 3 innings of work in relief. He has 1 career save on his resume, looking for 2 as they just barely get Straw. Chicago White Sox will go up a half game on the Cleveland Guardians in the AL Central, taking first place outright once again. They enter today 1 up in the loss column. This team has already spent 34 days with at least a share of first place this year. There were a lot of questions coming into the year about what a successful season would look like for the White Sox. Last year, the All-Star break, 32-65, last place, 27 games out of first. I think they're starting to create a lot of belief around baseball that this team is for real. And it's just been a brutal stretch. Triple-digit losses the last 3 years. Two years ago, one of the worst seasons in baseball history. 121 losses. The most in modern baseball history, passing the expansion 1962 New York Mets. They lost 82 of their first 109. But it seemed like even from the start of spring training this year that they were ready to stop living in the past a little bit, clinging on to some of the glory years from their world championship in 2005. One of the examples was in the hallway of the team spring training facility. They took down some of the giant pictures and posters of their glory teams. This will squib away from Schweitzer and allow Ernie Clement to reach.
Good.
Ernie Clement able to sneak another knock here at the end. Just able to get past the pitcher. Tough play for the left-handed pitcher. That's a backhand.
Sean Keyes will bat here after he replaced Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm starting to say with this White Sox team and the changes they made to their facility. So they took down these giant photos of, you know, the World Series winning team, you know, their trip to the White House, all that. Instead, they put up action shots of the current White Sox players, including Photoshop versions of guys who hadn't played a major league game yet. Including Munetaka Murakami in White Sox gear. Just to show that it's about them now. Late challenge here from Kyle Teal. There are a lot of new things on the horizon with this franchise. You've got new ownership on the horizon. You've got a #1 pick that, based on their track record, they might try to get to the big leagues as quickly as possible.
And it all really leads back to, again, Will Venable, Chris Getz, the front office, Will Venable, his coaching staff, every little detail of what they've done, not only on the field, but off the field as well, with this young core group of not only position players, but these young pitchers as well that are going to come up and help the White Sox out. Let's find a way to change their mentality, change their mindset. Even something as little of a detail of pictures on the wall in your building, all throughout the facility, just little antidotes like that that can really change the mindset for these young players.
You know what Will Venable told us when we asked him about culture change and where that all starts? He said it was very simple.
3-2.
First step fundamentals. That's how he described it. Whether it's offense or defense, what do you do with that first step? That's how he characterized what they wanted to change about the culture here.
Yes. There's no question. After seeing it live for a full 9 innings, these young players are bought in to everything Will Venable's preaching to them.
So get out of play. Venable is one of the front runners for AL Manager of the Year. They've got a lot of personality in that clubhouse. One guy, perhaps more than most, Mike Vasil. By the way, I didn't get to ask him. Apparently, the White Sox are discussing doing a giveaway themed around magic wands later this year.
I don't know how he feels about that, because again, he doesn't want to let the secret out of the
right.
White Sox clubhouse, but I'm sure he's willing to share the wealth on the south side with all those fans.
Good at bat for Keys even late in this game as he draws a 1-out walk. Bring up Okamoto. It's one thing to say all the right things, and the White Sox have done that, trying to not let this start put them in a situation where they're getting ahead of themselves. But I'd say to start the second half of the year, this is a statement way to do it.
Yeah, we've seen the energy, we've seen the fearlessness coming out of the White Sox position player group. But when you see an identity, that's the first thing you search for when you're trying to look for a good quality major league team. What is your identity? Offensively, it is very obvious that the Chicago White Sox, you can build them around Colson Montgomery, but they have guys that can play team offense. They can get guys over, they can get guys on, and they can hit the ball out of the ballpark as well.
Now, how will things shake out in the division? That's a question to be determined. Cleveland Guardians, who can pitch. The question always revolves around offense for them. They won 4 in a row heading into the All-Star break. Minnesota Twins are not going away either. The year that they've been carried by Byron Buxton. He's stayed healthy, which has helped. They're a game under 500, and given where things are at, 3 games out in the division coming in, and just checking to see where the final score of that game was. If it has gone final. No, they're in the 8th inning. 5-2 now, Minnesota. So they'll get back to 500. That's a team that a lot of people also wrote off.
Yeah, Byron Buxton, he has certainly identified himself now in the later part of his career as a power hitter, looking to get the ball pull side in the air, and he's done that well so far this year. But for me, this is so exciting heading in to the trade deadline, because it really comes down to, in the American League, who goes out and makes that move, who makes the big spend. And it feels like this is a deadline where there's going to be some teams you certainly wouldn't expect to be the team to make that big spend.
In the air to center field. Peters underneath it. 2 gone in the ninth. And the Blue Jays down to their final out.
It's so fun for baseball fans all throughout the world to speculate, because if you begin to think about it, with Tarek Skubal, for instance, if he is somehow available on this trade deadline, if Detroit makes him available, you begin to think, does that now give a team like Tampa Bay or Milwaukee, are they in play? Because they certainly, it's not their style to give a guy like Skubal 4, 5, 600 million, whatever he's going to demand on the free agent market. But are they willing to give up a prospect or two and only spend on a Tarek Skubal for a half a season? Go ahead and get him on that playoff roster, see if we have a chance to go up against the big bad Dodgers, and then let him go about his way in free agency after. It's going to be really, really interesting, I think, Alex.
And that's assuming that the Tigers don't keep him, because that possibility is on the table if they can rip off a couple of wins here leading into the trade deadline. But it's a tight window to try and do it. They're in Anaheim tonight, Detroit. They ended the day 4 games out of the wild card, despite winning 7 of 10 going into the break. That's one of the bigger surprises in baseball, is how steep that drop-off was for them.
Big time. Talk about a tough decision, too. Do you hold on to Tarek Skubal, give your club an opportunity in Detroit? Or we've all learned the Angels could have had Junior Caminero. At least that's what the rumors say a couple years back throughout the trade deadline. So very, very tough decision for Detroit's front office. Certainly just don't want a guy like Tarek Skubal to leave your building and get nothing in return.
Youngton Clase. Blue Jays down to their final strike, as the White Sox look for their 4th win in a row. Schweitzer laboring to try to shut the door here.
Trying to earn every bit of that 3-inning save.
Clase flies 1 foul. By the way, Shane Bieber scheduled to get the start tomorrow. It hasn't been great for him since returning. Missed the first 2 months of the season with elbow inflammation, but hasn't looked quite himself since the return. Of course, traded to the Blue Jays. That's strike 3, and the ball game is over. A 12-4 final and a statement win to start the second half for Chicago.
Statement win is right. Chicago White Sox not slowing down one bit, coming out of the All-Star break, guns blazing, and looking strong here as we take on this second half of baseball.
Love that celebration. Double touch in the outfield.
I was going to say, we're going to have to ask the Wizard what the name of that dance move was.
There are some secret handshakes and celebrations and whatnot going on in that Chicago clubhouse. They are having fun, and they are winning while doing it.
Yes, they are.
What a story. And they are back alone in first place in the AL Central, up by 1 in the loss column over the Guardians. And for the Blue Jays, they continue to struggle for answers. Now 7 games under 500 and 3.5 out of the wild card in the American League. Well, there are a lot to choose from, but Colson Montgomery, bases clearing double in the 5th. That is our PNC play of the game. It gave the White Sox all the breathing room they would need. Tricia down to the field with Colson Montgomery.
All right, Colson Montgomery, you had a huge bases clearing double. Everybody in this starting lineup contributed tonight. You hung 12 runs on them. What does this say about where this offense is at right now and how dangerous it can be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely dangerous. You know, I think we've shown it in the first half, and you know, we're not going to let up. You know, we kind of, you know, came together and kind of, you know, told ourselves, like, you know, these first couple games, these first couple series out of the break, you know, they're huge. You know, so we're looking to make a statement right away.
People have talked about the youth movement on this team, the youthful energy, but I feel like it's so much more than just young talent. It's contagious confidence. Is that what you see too?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just trickles down from the coaches. You know, our coaches, they're extremely confident, so, you know, they have so much confidence in us as well. So, I mean, I think it comes from them too, and, you know, we have a whole bunch of veteran guys too that, you know, they contribute a lot with us, and I don't know, it's just, you know, when you're young and you're confident, you just feel like you're dangerous. So I think that's what we're doing.
Tell me why the South Side has fallen in love with this team and bought into this team, Colson.
Yeah, I think it's just we're relentless. You know, we come out, you know, each day we play our butts off. You know, we don't take anything for granted. I think that's one of the biggest things. Is, you know, yeah, we're young, but, you know, we're trying to make a statement here, and I feel like that's what we're doing.
Young and making a statement. I love that. Colson Montgomery, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
His 3-run double in the 5th, Tricia, put the White Sox up 8-2 at the time. That was more than enough. 12, the final. And a victory for the Southsiders to make it 4 in a row. I'll be right back. Coverage and the best of from our drone, brought to you by Goodyear. It's too bad we didn't have the roof open. Obvious reason for that here in Toronto, with the air quality being what it is. Every time I come back here, whether it's in baseball season or hockey season, I cannot get over all the new buildings that are here, and just what a beautiful city. Not a good night for the home team, though. All White Sox here. Alex Faust, Eric Hosmer back here with you. Maybe lost in all of this was the first win in a month for Anthony Kay. He did all he had to here tonight.
Yeah, he got a 5-run cushion in the 2nd inning, but he certainly had to earn it, and he had to battle because he got into some tough situations here. It seemed like the Toronto offense was one big swing away from capitalizing and getting themselves back into that game, this game, but quality pitches and some key spots for Anthony Kay to get him through this outing.
Yeah, the big strikeout of Varsho with bases loaded in the 3rd. That was a huge blow for the Blue Jays, who had the tying run at the plate in the 3rd inning. White Sox with 12 runs on 12 hits. We'll show it to you. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud.
Colson Montgomery said it perfect. Young, confident, relentless. Just look at the spray chart over here. 12 hits tonight, right-handed and left-handed, obviously, so all over the yard, and then the big blast there to right field. But timely hitting, 1st to 3rd, aggressiveness. Young White Sox team with a lot of confidence, and they showed out tonight.
Yeah, what a start to the 2nd half as they win their 4th game in a row. The White Sox continue to roll as they are in 1st place alone atop the AL Central. Look back at tonight's pregame predictions presented by BetMGM. Murakami didn't wind up getting an RBI. White Sox wound up with 12 runs, and he didn't factor into one of them. Okamoto, same story for the Blue Jays. And next week, these Blue Jays will be back in action. Every series feels like must-have now for Toronto. They'll take on the Red Sox, and then what a matchup in Philadelphia. The Yankees and the Phillies. Coverage gets underway with our twin bill at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Apple TV. For other scores, highlights, and the latest news from around Major League Baseball, check out the Sports tab in the Apple News app. Big thanks to our technical director, Adam Plout, for all his great work here today in Toronto, and our entire crew, for that matter, here north of the border. For Eric Hosmer, Tricia Whitaker, and our entire crew, this is Alex Faust saying so long from TO. We thank you.